what a lot of people don't understand is Bruce Lee. You can only compare yourself to yourself, really. And that's the only person you need to compare yourself to. But what a lot of people don't understand is that back then, Bruce Lee was fighting for a very different cause than what most of you are going to be fighting for. For him, it was about developing a punch, a strike which could kill people. He wasn't fighting. There was no such thing as the boxing form in his time. The spread of that influence of media, of that knowledge, was not complete yet. The boxing stance wasn't even completely known. Why people would stand the way they stand. But those basic principles which they teach, which they taught, it's very true. There's a reason why. Why turning your fist versus not just for most people, but it engages more of your muscles here. And it allows a natural movement of, you have to feel it. It allows for more of an extension of these muscles here, of your longest muscles. And that's just the way that it works out for the body. Throwing a 1-inch punch, you are contracting a lot of body types perform the movement of loading up their muscles probably more naturally. But that snapback, you study with your whole system. You study and you learn how the whole thing moves. Your body, whenever you engage with something naturally, it depends on what you're engaging with as well. For me, like when I sight this bag, my body tunes into the requirements to basically what's the reality of this bag is going to be. For me, always try to use proper form when you can. Just in all things, just a good stance, a stance that supports your body. Keep your legs bent, your knees bent. You have your dominant side. You lead with your passive side, and you have your dominant side trailing back. In boxing, you would step, when you throw with your non-dominant hand, you step forward, keeping your knees bent, legs slightly apart, shoulder width. And that allows you to pop back, keeping your knees bent like that. But whenever you look at Bruce Lee's footage, he doesn't fight usually with his hands. He doesn't fight as a boxer does. He fights with the intention of delivering a quickest strike as possible. And that does borrow some moves, but mostly his combat style was karate, was Wing Chun. And it was a more aggressive style of Wing Chun. He didn't learn Wing Chun completely. Just enough to kick your ass. Just enough to strike at pretty much all your vital spots. But he didn't learn the basic root foundation principles as many of you had, as his teacher wanted him to. Sorry, master. I pretty much had a one-set mind, a drive towards, killing those people, feudal lords. Very coveting, very ownership-oriented men. Basically people who rape as they pleased. There was no love involved in their lovemaking, in the lovemaking process. Yeah, it was basically the only way I could train. To fight back at the heart of darkness. That's why in my mind I gotta put on a different target. yeah, when you look at that guy, when he was fighting, the way he's throwing, it doesn't. See, in the real world, a lot of people in the Western is very new. There's a lot of intuitive styles. There's a lot you can gain from that, but we're so focused on structure that there's a lot of people that are not actually seeing. In a real world situation, whoever strikes first, whoever lands the first blow usually has the initiative, and that's not gonna. And usually, you're not gonna have a proper stance when you're facing off a person like that. The way he was learned how to fight was to keep your body at a 45-degree angle, knees slightly bent, and you strike from almost a relaxed pose. You don't feel that. You're not telegraphing almost any of your strikes. That's why it's just, and your body will naturally assume the most efficient striking position. Once you have those basic principles drilled into you, once you get that, like, oh, that's how he's standing, that's how he's throwing his punches. And once you get that, just throw away those concepts. Don't focus on it too heavily. And just mostly just focus on your power. Where and what you want to strike in your mind. What you are striking. The target you're striking is going to be both hard and soft. And if your target is very hard like this, you do want to use less power in your punches and to punch more slowly. Yeah, that's what I was not doing. Because all my life, recording videos, I recorded videos for the purpose of looking a certain way, instead of being for my own benefit, training for my own benefit. Because the only one who's going to understand you and your body is you. Full extension. Also, the second thing is, yeah, you want to keep yourself open, because you're not always going to be striking a human target, but you generally want to twist your power into things. But if you're just striking small targets, such as a fist flicking something away, you don't really. Concepts. Place your power forward. Human being. Especially back then, one of the main things which got me was not so much people that were skilled at throwing long-range punches, at distance punches, normal forms. It was the people who would run up to you and grab you close. And you just have to deal with a target that close, that far, in that distance. small 8. I have to record that later. It's not gonna work. Oh, it is gonna work. Okay, so not to take me or anyone else as the ultimate authority in things, as the ultimate authority, but strong punches usually come with good form, but the most powerful punches don't always look very pretty. The most powerful. There's a difference between power. Power is execution. It is instantaneous response. It is speed. Speed as well as force. Strength is basically torque. Basically torque and result as well. Power, force and ability, speed, voltage, time. Power is a function of time. An explosive power. Strength is about ultimate. Yeah, strength. Mass. So, this is UV epoxy. So when a lot of people watch his works or view his footage, he's not, he's striking with the most amount of power. He strikes with his whole body at once. And you can say that is good form or bad form, but if he hits you with that amount of power, with that amount of force, at that speed, it's going to hurt. And comparing him, or comparing anyone else to yourself to anyone else, it's not fair comparison, because your bodies are so distinctly different. But, yeah, because a lot of people compare him to Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson has a different body type, and he has a different focus. Both in boxing, you have the potential to kill, but Bruce Lee trained almost exclusively for the potential to kill. And you normally would not. You normally would not. Most people normally would not. It's not what most people's focus needs to be. Boxing is a sport where repeated movements can be carried out honorably as possible. It relies more upon the strength instead of the chance of the fighters. It relies more upon the strength of the fighters and not just up to chance, as would be in a street fight, as would be an instantaneous response in an unstructured fight in reality. And a lot of the comments I see, a lot of people are too focused on his structure and not the power that the guy is delivering. And I don't want to say that's unfortunate, but that is unfortunate because they're not seeing how powerful the guy really is. I'll link that video. You got a lot of people saying that it's the first time that he's ever trained on a bag, and it's true. That was the first time he's ever trained on a bag. It's the first time I ever trained on a bag. Usually when you're training, you are training with a specific purpose to train endurance, stamina, your wrists, your fists. You're not striking that bag with the intent of perfect form, of fighting against a human being, because it doesn't resemble a human being except in texture. And this will be exposed to the sun eventually. And it takes a couple seconds for it to harden over. But here, let me just put this right here. No? Here. No, I thought that would hold it. No. Let's wait for the sun to come around the other side. So yeah, there's no need to compare apples to oranges. Both are incredible fighters. Everyone deserves to stay. No one wants to fight another person. We're all human beings. Yeah, you're all going to be mothers and fathers one day. That's why you don't see a lot of people say, only stupid people shout loudly like that. People who don't know any better. Who want to take you on to fight, to try to take away what you have, or just to challenge you. People who have not been raised with the foundation and principle that You're all souls. You're all worthy. You deserve to be here. You're all children of God. You're children of life, the universe. No one deserves to die. No one deserves that. No one deserves to have their life taken away. They all deserve to grow, to experience life. At the same time, no one deserves to cause undue or unjustified pain or suffering to others. And you do deserve to be stopped if that's the path you want to take. Because we're all souls, we're all family, protecting one another. Bruce Lee never got to develop to his max potential. They got fearful. It was not the Illuminati, but the people around him. The feudal lords, they poisoned him. Yeah, they took him out. Poison. Basically affected his food supply. All the training in the world can't help fight against that. So... What Bruce Lee was finding out was that ultimately he didn't know anything, and that almost no matter how hard you train, you're always going to be at some slight disadvantage when it comes to knowing what comes next. But the most that you can do, and this is everything, is to prepare for it. Just to prepare. Get those movements down. Practicing almost anything, a basic anything, even just leg kicks, leg defense, can make you a very fearsome fighter, even in a street fight, and even in an impromptu situation. It gives you back that power, that confidence that you can do something, that you're not powerless, that you're not helpless, so others don't have to worry about you so much. Bruce said, I can't teach you how to fight. I can't teach you. My legs. The only one you're trying to beat is yourself. The only one you're trying to get better than is yourself. That you need to get better than. That's your really only goal. The reason why people can't tell you that why turning the wrist equates to a more powerful punch, why that equates to more action, is because it allows more of your muscles to engage with the movement, to engage in the throw. And the only way you know that, the only way you can know that is by feeling it, by putting your hands on your muscles, on your arms, and by throwing a punch and feeling how much more of your muscles, your trapezoids, and this one, how this one engages from the left to right. And basically, long story short, it allows more of your muscles to engage in the action. And it's really the truth of it. Teach you how to fight. You don't know says, just more and more progress. Feel. Knowing that you can get stronger is a good feeling. Try to incorporate realistic movements, if at all possible. Movements you could actually do. You can use a small space like this to basically practice what you can outside if it's too hot. Like side to sides. Only thing which challenges your stability. That's right. Like it is. My fly is always open. It's good. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. Good morning, good morning, good morning. air duct. Can't back up fully. That's the duct. Now I understand why I'm so fond of using the palms. The target that I hit is from here to here. Most people don't develop a lot of power up close in this area. This is usually where your blind spot is when it comes to dealing with force with blows. Person on your feet. Grab your legs on the ground. Bruce Lee didn't have long enough arms to get someone off his feet in one swing. But I do. It's a slow punch on purpose because it engages all your muscles.